Well, you know I love a Peavey, and this thing is radioactive. This is a Milestone 3 Peavey 4-string. I want to say maybe late 90s, early 2000s. I can't find much on it. It's this dark metallic purple. Really cool. And 2 pickups there. So this one came from Pawn Shop maybe? And I'm going to do a little fix-up on it, get it a little more comfy. The edge of these frets are razor sharp, so we're going to do something about that. And loose input jack here. We'll fix that up. And new strings. We'll go through the fretboard. And yeah, that'll do it. This one is for Sam. She's a young bass player in the area. Just starting out in the band scene, which is always fun. I remember when I first started in the band scene. Now, I'm an old man and I don't care about the band scene anymore. But it's cool seeing the enthusiasm of the young kids coming up. This is actually the truss rod. It's not up here where you would think it is, but it's down here. But I think the neck is pretty straight. I don't have to do anything to that. I think the first thing I'll do before I de-string it is I will plug it in and see about where we are with it. So, set you up. Alright, let's plug this thing in and get a bass line. No pun intended. That's really cool. That sounds really good. Other than the little crackling here in the pots, so we'll probably have to clean those out too. So, anyway, that's a good place to start. A lot of rust here on this stuff. I think maybe we'll do a little vinegar soak too. So yeah, that's where we're starting. Let's I think I'm going to completely disassemble it. I'm going to take off the strings. I'll take off the pick guard. Clean these two. We'll deal with that. This bridge is a lot of rust on that. I think I'm gonna take that and the screws. The screws have a lot of rust too. None on the pickups though. None on the pickups or the hardware up here. And maybe we'll soak that in a little vinegar for just a little while. And yeah, I might as well. I don't even have to take the neck off. But I am going to be doing some filing here. That's excessive right there. I've never seen a guitar so bad. Up here it's not so bad. I think somebody kind of maybe wore it down. But, ooh, this one right here. That'll get you. Anyway, that's where we're starting. Just wants to stick there. I'm going to put this aside and just work on the neck. Keep it away from the magnets because I think I'm going to be doing a lot of filing here. And it allows me to get to these lower ones, which are worse anyway. This one seems to be up all the way across. I'm going to give it a couple of good firm smacks with the mallet. That's better. So, as you can see, I got a couple spots here. Right? Yeah, pretty much this end is pretty good. 12th fret down is pretty bad. And these things are just sharp. That's just crazy. So I'm going to tape like I normally do, right across there. And then I'm going to do a couple down the sides to protect the side finish. And I think I'll start by taking down these ends a little bit with a file. Putting on the tape, Coach. I'm going through my files, and I want to get something with a flat file. I don't want something with cross-hatched. So that is, this one and this one both have flat edges. This one's got a real rough cross-hatch, and this entire set has cross-hatch. So those are out. I just want to go very lightly on the edge of these. I'm going to go in a downward motion. So I'm not pulling them up. Alright, that's a good starting point. This was the more aggressive of the two files. Once I get the tape off, I'll use this lighter one to kind of get in there and fine tune it, but I wouldn't have been able to get in there and get these top ones or these bottom ones with it still in the body. So let me do the fret leveling, polishing, and then we can pull the tape and I can get in there and fine tune those. It feels a lot better through here. Down in here, this one here in particular, I'm going to see how the crowner does on the edge of it. It does a pretty good job. One thing you don't want to do is gouge the wood. The crowning file actually did a really good job in softening up these edges. Nice and smooth now. I think next I'm going to start cleaning some of the fudge off of this fretboard with some wood cleaner. And yeah, then I can start cleaning it up, oil it. I'm going to give it a good wipe down and we'll put it back on the body. That was just the lemon oil. I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, soak in. Have a cup of coffee. Be right back. I don't know how much of that I got, but I got the major grime off with the Sprayway glass cleaner. I use that because it's ammonia free. Then I finished it off with the spray wax. So that's looking pretty good. One thing I noticed I wanted to show you, some factory markings. There's a giant 2 here, and there's also a 2 on the neck. So that was kind of neat. I'm going to put this aside. And I'm going to do the same thing with the neck. All those were pretty wobbly, so I'm going to check them. Well, here I'm going to color in with some pencil. This nut where the strings go through. Give it a little bit of lube for some movement. There we go. Any of these that are real black, I think I'm going to replace. I did replace 2 on the jack. These, there's 2 that don't look bad. I'm going to go with them. That one's really black. That one's kind of silvery. At least they all have the same tone. Color, I mean. let's get this thing married back up. Alright, it's one piece again. I'm going to start working on this bridge, cleaning that up. Okay, I've got my saddles clean, the hardware's turning in there pretty good. I'm going to start reassembling this bridge. So we'll put one of these long machine screws through there. That's the toughest part. You don't want to get them cross-threaded there. Let's get it started. That's going to be my shortest, so that's going to be down here on the E, I believe. Alright, that is all back together. I'm going to screw these until the saddle screws hit the little indentations that were probably there for years. So we'll start there. Alright, that's looking great. Let's put it back onto the body. Before I do that, I want to make sure that my ground is exposed here. You can see that wire goes to the grounding of your electronics. I want it to sit right where it did before, right there. And it just gets sandwiched underneath this bridge. As tempted as you may be to just run a power driver in on these, it's better to get a hand screwdriver on it. You can feel where it's going. You can feel the tension. Feel you're not making a new hole into the wood. You don't want that. This last screw here on the G-string was kind of seized a little bit. I had to move it back and forth. It's either corroded or it got crushed here and the thread's crushed, so it didn't want to come up higher. So that's good. I think it's time for some strings. I got some lights. I like light strings. These are 40 through 95. So these are pretty good for small hands, young bassists. Alright, so on these I want to go like 1.5 past 1.5, right about there. In the hole that you're home. I've got the intonation set. It's tuned up. I noticed once I got the strings on, there was this terrible overbow. And this is where your truss rod adjustment is. And this thing was so tight, you couldn't turn it beyond that. So I took it off, backed it off a couple turns, and that straightened it out. I'm going to see where it is now. And yeah, I think it still could use like another 1/8 of a turn. So this way is loose, going up towards the E string. That's loosening it. Maybe even a little more. Try it right there. I can feel it start to loosen up on me. It's starting to feel like less tension when you're turning it. And that looks really good right there. I think I'm going to leave it. I think the E, these can even come down some now. Get that tweak made. Hardware here, the knobs, last thing to go on. Nice little cleanup. That sounds pretty good. This is going to make a great little workhorse practice guitar. The color of it's just really cool. It's like some lights it looks root beer, and some of them it looks like a dark purple. Either way, I think that's just, it's an awesome looking bass. I'd be happy to have a bass like this. I don't own a bass. I play bass in a band, and I don't own a bass. But that's going to change soon. I got some cool things coming up. I'll finally have my own bass. So this is a Peavey Milestone 3. It feels a lot shorter than a regular bass too. The neck was just so overbowed. It's like a rainbow here. That was just insane. I must have took 3 or 4 turns off of that. It was so tight. All the rust is taken care of for now. I mean, that'll always come back on you. The bridge is in much better shape. It's functional. You can turn your screws. They're not all seized up. Yeah, maybe in the long term, if this is a real player, to upgrade the pickups. But other than that, I love it. I think it would look even awesomer if it had a black pickguard, black sparkly pickguard, or dark purple pickguard. Oh, I could carve that on the X-Carve. That would be cool. But anyway, that's what she looks like on that side. That's what she looks like on that side. So I'm going to get this back and maybe have some fun with this in our jam room before I return it. Because it's a fun little bass. So I want to thank you once again for joining me. Thumbs up so I know you like my content, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.